Hi, I am Sue Mons, and today we are going to try to identify a condition, diagnosis, symptom, injury utilizing the ICD-10-CM coding book. And we will start with the alphabetical index. That's where you start. And then you verify that code that you find in the alphabetical index to your tabular list. So, the first thing you want to do is open up your coding book and grab your Cracking Your Code book supplemental material, because we're going to work on your key assignment number 8, and we're going to go with exercise 1. And we're going to try to code the principal diagnosis, acute cholecystitis. So in order to do that, there's a couple things we want to understand first about the alphabetical index, main term, subterm. If you open your book to the alphabetical index, it's in alphabetical order, of course, A through Z, and I'm already open to cholecystitis, and depending on what coding book you are using, I'm on page 53, so you should be somewhere in that numeric range. Note on the page that you have 3 columns on a page in the alphabetical index of a coding book. And it is read from the far left column, that's the top, and you go all the way down. And then from the bottom of the left column, you will continue reading at the top of the second column and scroll down the second column, and then you will go to the top of the third column and finish at the third column. That finishes a page in your alphabetical index. Also note that in every column you're going to see a bold term text, which is considered the main term, and then there are subterms after every main term. What is the difference between a main term and a subterm? Okay, your main term is in bold text, and it identifies the disease, conditions, or injuries. And your subterms and subterms actually indicate the site or the type or etiology of the main term. So it's important that you know the difference of the two, because you have to actually look up the disease or the injury by the main term. So in this case, we are looking up acute cholecystitis. So, cholecystitis is the disease, so we're going to find that. Now we know that the severity of the cholecystitis is acute. So we're going to follow the first gray line down, and you're going to see the word acute. Now, if you notice under the word acute, it says with calculus, or it might say, and then under calculus, subterm, it'll say cystic duct. Okay, our documentation specifically just says just acute cholecystitis. So we are going to stop at acute as the subterm, and we will look right below that, and it will say K81.0, and that is the code that we will be going with. Now, if there is not a dash after the ICD-10-CM code, usually that indicates that that could be the final code, and in most instances it is. But I highly recommend that you always verify your code in the tabular list, because in the tabular list, before every chapter, there's specific coding guidelines, and also within the categories of the tabular list of the chapter that you're in are specific coding lines. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our tabular list, and that is our chapter 4K, which is chapter 11, diseases of the digestive system. And we're going to locate the category. Remember, that is the first 3 letters of your ICD-10 code, K81. So if you want to thumb through that and find K81, and I am looking at this upside down, so bear with me. Okay. In my coding book, it's at the top of the page, and you're going to see K81 cholecystitis. Let me move that over so you can see that. And this is what I'm looking at. Now, if you look to the left of the category K81, there's a big red box there that says check for fourth character, and underneath the category there are several codes listed with fourth characters. There's a K81.0, .1, .2, and .9. We know that we are acute cholecystitis. So that meets the criteria, and that is 4 characters, so therefore that is our code. I also want to make a note here that under the category K81, you will see an excludes one note, and that tells you what this category does not include, and it also tells you what category you should be looking in. K80 for cholecystitis with a cholelithiasis. So that is the basic step of using your alphabetical index, looking up a diagnosis, and verifying it in the tabular list. Thank you.